Next, a police officer responding to a fight at a school is shot to death. We'll have a live report.
Floods and rains wash out area roads. What can we expect next? President Bush breaks his silence about a growing controversy at the White House.
And a CBS 2 exclusive, why a local pharmacy is forced to apologize to its customers. Next.
We're Chef program ends August 1st.
$9.94 during Suzuki's Smart Summer Savings.
Right now on CBS 2, another round of rain and floods leads to a deadly accident at the home of a high-ranking NYPD officer.
And a gunfight in New Jersey leaves a Newark police officer dead, one suspect shot, another on the loose.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening. I'm Roz Abrams.
I'm Jim Rosenfield, and we begin tonight in Newark, where one police officer is dead, another injured after a gunfight on a Newark street.
Tonight, police are stepping up their search for one of the men involved in that shooting. CBS 2's Hazel Sanchez outside University Hospital, where one wounded suspect is being treated. Hazel.
Well, Roz and Jim, it has been a terribly sad night here at the University Hospital. Two Newark police officers were rushed here after their attempt to keep peace at a local high school went tragically wrong. At 5:25 tonight, Newark lost one of its finest.
The anguish felt by Officer Dwayne Reeves' family and his fellow officers could be seen in their faces as they gathered outside University Hospital. Reeves' daughter, Ashley Reeves, says she always worried about her dad's safety.
The whole family always wanted him. And, he loved his job, and that's something that he always wanted to do ever since he was a child.
Around 2 this afternoon, 35-year-old Officer Reeves and his partner, 26-year-old Officer Akia Scott, assigned to Wequahic High School, were trying to stop a fight between two female students at a nearby football field on Chancellor and Summit Avenues. Police say two men then pulled up in a car.
They were confronted by these two individuals that had arrived. Shots rang out.
Officer Reeves suffered a fatal shot to the head. Officer Scott was shot in the hand, and a suspect, 26-year-old Omar Tyndall, was shot in the abdomen. The other suspect got away. Tonight, Newark's finest are mourning one of their best.
A lovable person. He was well liked. He was a hard worker. And we're going to be greatly missed by a lot of us.
Officer Dwayne Reeves was a 4-year veteran. His partner, Officer Akia Scott, a 3-year veteran, has been treated and released from the hospital. The suspect, Omar Tyndall, is now listed in fair condition. And at last word, police were still searching for that second suspect, a person they describe as a black male, 5'7", 135 pounds, with a lazy right eye. We are live in Newark. Hazel Sanchez, CBS 2 News. Jim, Roz, back to you.
Hazel, thank you. Storms in our area may have led to a freak accident that's left an NYPD inspector dead at his home tonight. The accident happened after a storm and flash flood at his house in Pearl River. CBS 2's Andrea Stasu is there live now with more. Andrea?
Jim, such a sad story. Tonight, neighbors tell us Michael Shortell had just finished building a front porch to his home, and they say he could not wait to start enjoying it with his wife and 3 little girls. Tonight, this neighborhood is just devastated after a freak accident claimed Shortell's life. In an area notorious for flooding, neighbors say Michael Shortell was just trying to protect his family's home from water damage. But as Shortell was moving a sump pump on his lawn after the latest downpour here, the 45-year-old father of 3 young girls was killed after being electrocuted.
I hear him screaming. I ran up and cut the power in. Me and my buddy tried to help him, and this water's got nowhere to go, and something's got to be done.
Sources say Shortell was an NYPD inspector and a commanding officer in the Bronx Narcotics Division. Tonight, as Rockland County Police carried out evidence related to the accident, 2 of Shortell's comrades from the NYPD arrived at the family's home. Neighbors describe Shortell as a wonderful father and a man dedicated to public service.
They're just wonderful people, and we just feel bad because of this flooding. They just fixed their house up.
So many people so upset tonight. Of course, they were too distraught to all speak with us on camera, but everyone described Shortell as a wonderful father again and someone who was very well regarded in this community. Now this entire community, as well as the NYPD community, in mourning. We're live in Pearl River. Andrea Stasu, CBS 2 News. Roz, back to you.
Thank you, Andrea. Today's storms and floods hit as many people in our area were still cleaning up from yesterday's downpours. In Westchester, major flooding caused part of the Bronx River Parkway to be shut down. Cars at an apartment complex in Scarsdale were left underwater. Most of this water has now receded. In New Jersey, a resident captured this mudslide on home video from his home in Monroe Township. And hundreds of people faced the daunting task of repairing and rebuilding after rainstorms caused severe flooding in several towns in Middlesex County.
And Roz, these rains and floods are just part of the problem. Residents in our area who aren't dealing with water problems are dealing with the stifling heat. CBS 2 meteorologist John Bolaris is here now with more. John?
Yeah, we still have a flood advisory in effect, Jim, tonight for Orange County. The last of the heavier rain moving through there. Another batch moving through into Jamaica Bay right now. We'll show you that in radar in a moment. But we have all that rain that came down today. It was a mess through southern Rockland, Westchester County, 2 to 3 inches of rain there. You know, the Bronx River Parkway was flooded out. Oyster Bay, North Shore of the island had 2 to 3 inches of rain. Let's take a look at Viper. You can see it simmered down quite a bit, but still a heavy cell moving into Jamaica Bay, but everywhere else, pretty much just a few isolated cells. And again, let's go back to the maps. One quick look at Emily. And Emily has now gathering steam heading into the Gulf of Mexico. I'll have the latest on Emily, and I'll let you know when this stuff is finally going to break in just a little bit. Jim and Ross?
All right, John, thanks. Tonight, an exclusive beach club in Westchester is back open after an all-day police investigation into a possible sex assault there. Police searched for clues today at the Larchmont Shore Club after allegations surfaced a little girl was attacked there last night. Investigators are working with the alleged victim, who is under 6 years old, to sort through all the details. We're told the assailant was likely an adult, and police were not notified immediately. No arrests have been made.
Tonight, President Bush is clarifying his position on the scandal over the leak of a CIA agent's identity. In the past, the president promised he would fire anyone involved in leaking the identity of a CIA agent, but he softened that stance today after Time magazine's Matt Cooper said that his source was White House senior aide Karl Rove.
If someone committed a crime, they will no longer work in my administration.
The president said he will wait until the investigation is complete before drawing any conclusions. His comments came during a news conference with the Prime Minister of India.
A CBS 2 exclusive tonight. A New Jersey woman is hospitalized after the medicine she was taking apparently made her sick. Turns out the drugstore gave her the wrong prescription, and this has happened before. CBS 2's Lou Young has the story.
The CVS on Banier Drive in Toms River is advertising for pharmacy technicians. Apparently, good help is hard to find. 78-year-old Marie Scaella was hospitalized Saturday when she found out the hard way that the prescription she filled at the store wasn't what she thought it was. The label said it was Detrol, her bladder control medicine, but the bottle was filled with Plavix, someone else's blood thinner. Jean Gronsky tells us sudden unusual symptoms tipped her mother that something was wrong.
I was devastated. She started not breathing correctly. Her throat started closing up, and she noticed that morning she had a rash starting on her body.
Marie was taken to Community Medical Center, where she remains hospitalized tonight, but that's not all. A police report on the incident indicates Berkeley Township cops handled 2 wrong medication reactions Saturday involving the same CVS. A police spokesman says it appears the mistakes were made by someone other than the pharmacist.
Usually a pharmacist does not put out the pills. They put them in a tray, they count them out, and it's usually an assistant or a part-time worker that does that kind of work. So you really don't know who's making the mistake.
A spokesman for CVS tells me tonight the cases were unrelated and added, "We deeply regret the incidents that occurred at our pharmacy in Toms River and have extended our sincere apologies to both of our customers." CVS Pharmacy fills about 20 million prescriptions in New Jersey every year. In the rare event of a prescription incident, we work diligently to learn what happened and take steps to prevent a recurrence. The incidents are described to me as labeling issues by CVS, suggesting the wrong labels were affixed to the medicine bottles. And although it's rare, it's not unheard of. It's suggested that if the shape, size, or color of medication look different from what you're used to, double check with the pharmacist. In this case, when the medicine was finally brought back to the store, the pharmacist knew immediately a serious mistake had been made. Lou Young, CBS 2 News.
Still ahead tonight, a tearful reunion for one of New York's bravest.
Also, a local couple speaks to CBS 2 after their arrest. Wait until you see what they were caught doing and where they were caught doing it.
Experts claim this sunscreen keeps you safer than any other. So why is it illegal in the United States? CBS 2 investigates.
And next, a very unwelcome guest at a local apartment complex. We're going to show you what was found on the grounds in 60 seconds.
An unexpected guest turned up at a Long Island apartment complex. A 2-foot caiman was found on the grounds of an apartment complex on Ocean Avenue in Freeport. The building super discovered the exotic animal and called animal control. No word on where the caiman came from. Keeping exotic animals as pets is illegal, and officials say those who break the law will face hefty fines.
An emotional reunion today for an injured firefighter who survived a deadly blaze and the medical staff who brought him back from death's door. Firefighter Eugene Stolowski got a hero's welcome when he came back to New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell Medical Center. But he dished out some praise himself for the doctors and nurses who saved his life.
You know, I thank them all. I don't know how to repay them.
Stolowski was one of 4 firefighters who survived a jump from a burning building in the Bronx in January.
If I thought I was going to die, dying in the line of duty probably would be the best way to go.
But his thoughts are always with the 2 who didn't make it, John Ballou and Curtis Myron.
I would trade places with them in a minute. I would not think twice about letting them be back here and be with their children.
Stolowski suffered a broken neck in the fall, but doctors say he's on his way to a near full recovery.
I've had no doubt since day one, even when I couldn't move anything, that I would have the determination to walk again.
He's amazing. He's in rehab near his home in New Jersey, where he and his wife are raising their 2-year-old daughter and their twin baby girls.
Jim, still ahead tonight, drama in a courtroom as a nurse faces the man who tried to kill her. See what happened when Eric Rudolph was sentenced today in a string of abortion bombings.
It's flying off the shelves overseas, but this sunscreen is illegal in this country, even though experts say it can protect you better than any other. Why? CBS 2 investigates.
Closed caption is brought to you by Toyota. Choose any direction as long as it's moving you forward.
Tonight, retired General William Westmoreland, the commander of U.S. troops in Vietnam, has died. Westmoreland made a name for himself during World War II after graduating from West Point, but he is remembered best as commanding American troops during the war that tore this nation apart. Westmoreland long maintained he had no apologies and no regrets about Vietnam. William Westmoreland died of natural causes. He was 91.
What's being touted as one of the most effective sunscreens out there is not on the market in America. In fact, it's illegal to sell. So how are many Americans getting it? Kirsten Cole has some answers.
We're undercover, looking for an illegal substance for sale on the black market.
People are just coming in and grabbing it, and we have a lot of back orders.
You can't smoke it. You don't swallow it. Instead, you rub it on.
This is all you need to apply on your face.
It's Mexoral, and it won't get you high, but it will protect you from the sun.
I need to speak to somebody about this sunscreen.
Touted as the world's most effective sunscreen, Mexoral is illegal in the United States because it hasn't been approved by the FDA. But that hasn't stopped stores around New York from selling it. We found it at Cambridge Chemist and Clyde's Pharmacy in Manhattan. And it's not cheap, about $40 for a tube. But nobody would go on camera to comment.
It's not FDA approved yet, but you're carrying it.
Why all the clamor about sunblock? It seems it may be the best thing to prevent premature aging of the skin due to the sun, says the president of the American Academy of Dermatology.
Probably the best product available because it has a very unique chemical structure that absorbs the UVA very, very well.
He says most people haven't heard of UVAs from the sun, but it can potentially cause more long-term damage than previously thought. Right now, sunscreens sold in the U.S. only block UVBs. We're exposed to UVA rays up to 100 times more than UVBs, causing everything from wrinkles and sagging skin to brown spots and ultimately skin cancer.
I've been using for the last 2 or 3 years.
Dermatologist Joel Wisniak is a big Mexoral fan. He says the ingredients in sunscreens currently available in the U.S. just don't cut it.
When they are mixed with our product or when they are exposed to the sun, they tend to lose their protective effect, which is not the case of Mexoral.
Considered safe and effective, Mexoral has been available in Europe and Canada for the last 10 years. So why not in the U.S.? Some say it's been bogged down in the bureaucracy of the Food and Drug Administration. Officials there say they're aware Mexoral is being sold in American stores, but insist any product that contains Mexoral in it at this point would be considered an unapproved new drug. L'Oreal holds the patent for Mexoral and confirmed to us that they have initiated a process of discussion with the FDA and are working closely with them regarding the ingredient. But it could take years before this product is approved for sale here. For more information and a link to the experts, log on to our website, cbsnewyork.com. I'm Kirsten Cole, CBS 2 News.
Okay, are we going to need sunscreen tomorrow? A lot of sunshine?
Going to need a rain block instead of a sun block. We'll get some limited sun, but rain again maybe later on in the afternoon tomorrow evening, and then we catch a break. Let's check out our view and see what's out there. A sultry Times Square on a hot time in the city tonight. So muggy out there. We need a refreshing air mass. Need to clear out this stuff, and we're going to get it a little bit in the middle of the week and then more as we get towards the weekend. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Viper is still picking up. Some shower activity is greatly diminished now, but a heavy cell now being detected, moving into Jamaica Bay right now near Edgemere, JFK, a heavy thunderstorm right there with perhaps an inch of rain in it, but that is an isolated cell, and that's it. And then things will just kind of be coastal fog overnight in that muggy, soupy feel. All right, let's check out the numbers for you today. 89 was the high, very sticky, you know that. Normal high 85 degrees, record high 101, record low 57 out there right now. A muggy 80 degrees in Central Park, Morristown the same, Newburgh 73, Port Jervis got a lot of rain today, 75 got a lot of rain on the North Shore of the island today. 78 in Brooklyn, Bohemia 76, got a lot of rain in Rockland and Westchester County in the mid-70s there. Tomorrow, blazing heat and humidity, hotter than today, more sticky than today. And then as this front comes through late in the day, we could see a heavy storm developing, especially after 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then that will sweep through, and we dry out on Wednesday and Thursday. No rain, lowering humidity, but still hot temperatures right around 91 degrees, but it will feel a little bit better because humidity levels will be down and we get rid of the stickiness for a while. And then we watch towards the end of the week with maybe more showers. Hurricane Emily, winds now up to 90 miles an hour, moving west-northwest at 15, 400 miles east-southeast of Brownsville, Texas. Will make a strike in Mexico by Tuesday, let's say Tuesday night, and then remain to the south as a Category 2, maybe Category 3, should not hit the U.S. mainland. All right, you forecast along the shore tomorrow. 90 degrees, Jersey Shore, so you're not going to escape the heat. You get a thunderstorm still later on in the afternoon. South shore of the island a little bit cooler, mid to upper 80s, still on the sticky side. On the east end of the island, you get that thunderstorm threat after 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Ocean temp in the upper 70s. That's warm. Warm and muggy tonight. Leftover shower, storm, coastal fog, 76. Tomorrow, blazing heat and humidity. Big time storm possible late in the afternoon, early evening, 92. We catch a break from the humidity on Wednesday and Thursday. Not a big break, but a little bit of a break. And then over the weekend, we catch a major break, refreshing air mass for this upcoming weekend. You can see that in the Super 2 extended trend. So that is the big break will come this weekend.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
A couple busted for a tryst at a place that had many offended.
And a showdown in court as Eric Rudolph is sentenced. It's all next.
Congratulations to David.
Eric Rudolph showed no remorse today as he was sentenced for the deadly bombing of an Alabama abortion clinic. In court, he insisted abortion is evil, saying deadly force is needed to stop it. The 38-year-old Rudolph was given 2 life sentences without parole. He had pleaded guilty to the 1998 bombing that killed a police officer and critically injured a nurse. That nurse spoke out today, calling Rudolph a monster.
The failure for him is that I am still alive, that I survived that day. And once he goes to prison, he's gone.
Under a plea deal to avoid the death penalty, Rudolph also confessed to the deadly bombing at the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta.
Here at home, a couple speaks out after being busted for having an intimate encounter on the top of a Long Island school for anyone to see. Some neighborhood boys were the first to spot the naked couple on top of a middle school in Port Jefferson Station yesterday. The boys' outraged parents called police, and officers arrested 19-year-old Rebecca Albee and 24-year-old Anthony Otto.
I apologize to the kids, and that's it.
Yeah, same here. I never meant for it to be like that, like in front of people, but just, it happened.
That was not Chris Raggy speaking, of course. The couple was released on their own recognizance, but his shirt and her shoes are still on the school's roof. We know what Chris looks like. That wasn't Chris.
A slugfest in Texas between the Yanks and the Rangers.
Sports is next. Chris isn't even here. He's on vacation. We'll be right back.
Expectant mothers, make sure to eat healthy during pregnancy, but what about after? I'm Sean Gables.
I'm Mario Bosques. Tuesday at 5, a healthy post-pregnancy diet.
Plus, point-to-point traffic reports, date prices, weather forecast, and half the commercials. CBS 2 News this morning. High risk for low birth weight babies. Tomorrow, they survived a difficult birth. But what happens when they grow up? New details on what many preemies may face by the time they turn 8. Join Jim Rosenfield and Roz Abrams on CBS 2 News at 5 tomorrow.
Here's Deuces in a roller coaster of a Yankee game.
It's going up and down, changing by the second. The Yankees pitching situation takes another interesting turn. Kevin Brown is activated from the disabled list for tonight's game against Texas. It's Brown's first action in over a month. He's a bit rusty. Third inning, Yankees up 6-3. Alfonso Soriano tags Brown for a 2-run homer to center. It's now 6-5. Brown gives up 6 runs and 10 hits in 4 1/3 innings. To the fourth, a 7-5 Yankees lead. Hideki Matsui yanks one down the right field line. A 2-run job. The Yankees lead 9-5. The Rangers make it 9-7. 6th inning, Wayne Franklin pitching. Hank Blaylock flies to center. Bernie Williams, he blows it. 2 runs come in. This game tied at 9. Not a way for Joe Torre to celebrate his 65th birthday. Now 10-9, Rangers with 2 outs in the 8th. Ruben Sierra comes through. A single to center. Gary Sheffield and Alex Rodriguez score. The Yankees take an 11-10 lead. That's where we stand right now in the 8th inning. Yanks up 11-10. Al Leiter bailed the Yankees out last night by defeating the Red Sox. The former Yankee, Blue Jay, Marlin, met Marlin again, is happy to be back with the Yankees again.
How the whole New York environment, spending 7 years in New York and now having this opportunity. For as much as guys say things, the cliche of the Yankee pinstripes and the logo, there's something to it. It's special.
Red Sox and D-Rays, what do you know? Tampa Bay manager Lou Piniella blows a gasket and he gets ejected. Lou needs a hug. Instead, he gets an early shower. Johnny Damon flies out to end the game. His 29-game hitting streak is snapped. The Red Sox lose 3-1. Rangers pitcher Kenny Rogers turned himself into police this morning. He faces a charge of assault with injury following last month's videotaped confrontation with 2 cameramen. Rogers faces up to a year in jail. Get this, while he was at the police station today, he got into a verbal altercation with another cameraman. Rogers is free on $1,500 bond, just in case you see him running the streets. The Mets are off tonight. They begin a 3-game series with the Padres tomorrow at Shea. Basketball news. Larry Brown is close to leaving Detroit. That could clear the way for the Knicks to make a run at him. Brown and the Pistons are moving closer to a contract buyout. He still has 3 years left on his 5-year, $25 million deal. Finally tonight, Eli and Peyton Manning on the same team? Well, just for a day. The Manning brothers were at the South Street Seaport to host a fantasy football camp. That's what this world has come to. You need to get in shape for fantasy football. There's respect between Eli and Peyton, but there's also a bit of competitiveness.
Growing up, he was always one of my role models, guys I always looked up to and learned from as dealing with the media and dealing with how to act as off the field and on the field as a football player.
We threw together the other day. We were down in New Orleans, and he likes to throw after me, so he always waits till the wind picks up, and he throws it further than me and throws it harder than me, and likes to embarrass me in front of all the people watching us throw.
And that's what brothers are for.
That's right.
They look like twins.
They do look like twins. Did you know about the story we're doing coming up? Just have to stay tuned, right, Roz?
What a surprise for an expectant couple in our area.
Next.
Can I get vehicle stability control for my birthday? Mom.
A double surprise for a local couple.
2 sets of identical twins were born at once to Leanne and Stephen Beloyan of Trenton. They had struggled for more than a decade to start a family. The quadruplets, identical boys and identical girls, were born last month, 8 weeks premature, but tonight they are all doing fine.
What are the odds? Well, actually, doctors say 1 in every 25 million births. We wish them well.
Yeah.
Hope they get some rest sometime in the next
25 years.
Yeah, something. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jim Rosenfield.
I'm Roz Abrams. The Late Show's up next. Who's Dave's guest?
It's Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob. Good night.
Good night.
Congratulations.